He had a tough guy image, all right, but this early poem shows that Frank Marshall Davis had a softer side as well.
To you, gray haze of a summer afternoon, green of the Pacific Ocean, brown of oak leaves in November, and you. These are lovely things. Your eyes, more beautiful than April rainbows, your lips, sweeter than old wine from Bordeaux, your touch, softer than the fall of snow upon a hillside. Yet it is not for these things that I remember you. I do not love you for just your body, for bodies become old, bent, condemned. But I do say your soul is a golden chalice, into which I have poured the rich red wine of mine own. We are old, yet I do not measure our ages
by calendars. Out of the haze that was yesterday, out of the womb of civilization, and to the chaos that will be tomorrow, forever tomorrow, there comes and goes one shining white thing, very love. Nothing in this world, empty, nothing, only your form, your soul, nothing. These words, nothing, save a song to you. I left college in my junior years because I was tired of going to college, for one thing, and I figured that the only thing I was learning at Kansas State was how to operate a white daily newspaper. There's no such animal in the black field. So I just decided to quit going. Then later, of course, I became acquainted with the whole black newspaper field.
Frank left school in Kansas for newspaper work in Chicago. He called it a big, ragging bully of a town. It was a love affair with city life and jazz.
Well, the busyness of the place, and the fact that it almost never shut down day or night. There's always something going on. And I was quite impressed by that. Another thing, too, that impressed me was the fact that when I first went to Chicago, Prohibition still existed. And the speakeasies and the blind tigers were prevalent. I used to go to a place called the Vendome Theater. Larry Armstrong played there.
Jazz band. Play that thing, you jazz mad fool. Boil a skyscraper with a jungle. Dish it to him, sweet and hot. Ah! Rip it open, then sew it up, jazz band. Thick bass notes from a moon-faced drum. Saxophones moan, banjo strings hum. High, thin notes from the cornet's throat. Trombones snorting, bass horns snorting. Short tan notes from the piano. And the short tan notes from the piano. Clink, clank, clunk a plunk. Chopin, gone screwy. Wagner with the blues. Clink, clank, clunk a plunk. Got a date with Satan. Ain't no time to lose. Clink, clank, clunk a plunk. Strut it in Harlem. Let Fifth Avenue shake it slow. Clink, clank, plunk a plunk. Ain't going to heaven nohow. Crowd up there is too slow.
I felt that my poetry had something of the freedom of jazz, the improvisational quality of jazz. And so therefore, I just felt it was, the two were very closely entwined, jazz and my poetry.
He was reporting on the black spirit, black life. He was trying to express through his poetry the combination of joy, tragedy, comedy, sadness, all of the myriad aspects of black life, which is too often seen by many people as a one-dimensional kind of existence.
And he said, I would be a painter with words, creating sharp portraits on the wide canvas of your mind, images of those things shaped through my eyes that interest me. But being a 10th American in this democracy, I sometimes sketch a miniature, though I contract for a mural. Of course, you understand this democracy. One man as good as another, from log cabin to White House, poor boy to corporation president, Hoover and Broder with one vote each. A free country, complete equality. Yeah. And the rich get tax refunds, the poor get relief checks. As for myself, I pay 5 cents for a daily synopsis of current history, 2 bits and the late lowdown on Hollywood, twist a dial for Stardust or Shostakovich, and with each bleacher stub, I reserve the right to shout, kill the bum at the umpire. Wherefore am I different from 9 other Americans? When I think about this poem, it seems full of barbs, and I think this is typically Frank. It is the cynic, and the understatement of it all. Yes, everyone can be president, but what about me? Yes, look at all of this news on the newspaper, but where is anything that is relevant to me?
You see, the major reason for the existence of the black press was to counteract the misinformation which usually was part and parcel of the white press. And so whenever anything happened that we didn't think was quite like it was said to be in the daily press, the white daily press, we made our own investigations and came up with the news.
He came up with the news at papers like the Chicago Evening Bulletin, the Whip, and Gary American, and went to Georgia in '31, where as editor he established the Atlanta World as the first successful black daily. Work on Black Man's Verse, a poetry collection, brought him back to Chicago in 1934, where he later became executive editor of the Associated Negro Press.
He felt it necessary to not only have a black press, but to have an association of all the black newspapers throughout the country to enhance their own striking power in terms of bringing a true message to the American people as a whole.
As a journalist, Davis was painfully aware of the plight of black Americans. His second and third volumes of poetry, I Am the American Negro, and Through Sepia Eyes, reflect his anguish.
In the beginning of one of his books, he has a forewarning which says, fairy words, a Pollyanna mind, do not roam these pages. Inside, there are coarse victuals, a couch of rough boards, companions who seldom smile, yet it is the soul's abode of a Negro dreamer. For being black in my America is no rendezvous with Venus.
Remember this, you wise guys. Your tales about Jesus of Nazareth are no go with me. I've got a dozen Christs in Dixie, all bloody and black.